Good morning, everybody. Let's debrief Tasmania, which was an okay round for us.
Ludo, so the first question has come in from Phil on Facebook, and he's asking, how did our overall race pace compare to our expectations heading into the weekend?
Well, very pleased with Jimmy's performance over the weekend. Maybe the Friday didn't showcase what he was capable, but the rest of the weekend he was a strong performer in my opinion. He finished on a very high. When you've got your car running away from the field, from Fenny, which was exceptional over the weekend. We all have to recognize that Brock did a fantastic job, but when you can go away from him for 10, 15 laps and lead the race by 2.5, 3 seconds, you're doing something right. Now, I didn't dream, I'm not a big dreamer. I knew that Fenny was probably looking a little more to his tires. The deck was very little. But yes, so overall the performance of the car was better than I expected. We performed a bit better than I thought we would. So what somewhere that says that we've highlighted a couple of elements on the car, a couple of elements on the driving of the car, which are making inroads. So for the future, if we can repeat, it's very important to repeat. We couldn't repeat Friday performance from Richie, until Sunday. Richie looked okay, but not special. Sunday he ran into the top 5, and he was a strong final stint, and overall strong on the last race. So again, both drivers did a very good job. I'm happy with the race pace. I'm happy what we've learned. We worked a little bit on ourselves more, a little less at looking what's happening next door. So yeah, very, very happy.
Thanks, Ludo. The question 2 has come in from Brendan on Facebook also. Were there any specific changes made between qualifying and the race sessions that positively or negatively impact the car's performance?
Well, you have to change the car. I mean, if you look at how tight is qualifying, a 10 can be 10 spot. So yes, in quali we run more camber. Sometimes we are a bit stiffer. Sometimes we've got less degradation or progressive car, and that means that in between a quali session and the race, we have to change back on the camber. On obviously some of the spring setup or kinematic setup that we can use in quali. In order to be able to get into the top 10, you have to put a lot of effort, and some of them are definitely setup. And then all of a sudden, because you want your car to last, you have to take some of these extreme things away, back to a more race car. So yes, I wouldn't say we always nail it, but I think we were okay in changing the car from quali to race.
Thanks, Ludo. Stephen has entered this question through Instagram. How effective was the pit stop strategy, and were there any opportunities to gain more track position through timing or execution?
So the first 2 races on Saturday are pretty straightforward. It's more about the tires, which side. You can't always afford to put 4 tires, so it's more about where you put a front, a rear, 2 rears, a side, etc. That didn't influence too much the result, I think, of the race. The pace of the car, the positioning on the start, excuse me, was more important for the Saturday race. On Sunday, there is obviously strategy. And the safety car in the middle of the race, we discussed earlier on if we would take an early safety car to do the second stop. And we elected basically to say before 35, we are not confident to do 45 laps on the super soft and be strong enough at the end. Now, obviously, stopping under safety car, which costs you very little time. You join the queue, but you've done your stop. And then running long, which Payne did very well, which Reynolds nearly did very well, which Car 1 did very well. That payback because there was no safety car after that. If there is a safety car, everybody gets bunched up and you've got no tire, so you can't defend any position. And that payback because surprisingly, the deck was a little lower than expected. For whatever reason, we seem to have learned since last year how to make this car last longer and better. So nobody had done, I would say, that sort of stint the day before in race 1. So there was a guess element in it, and some did guess better than us. I am not filthy about it at all. I am quite happy. We decided to not do. We wanted to have a straight race, give both drivers a chance to express themselves, to understand what their car is against Feney, which was, for example, the baseline. I'm not looking at what did Payne. He did a fantastic job, won the race, good on him and good on his team to think on their feet. But what we are trying to build is understand our car, understand our driving style, and towards the end of the year, we want to be competing in that top 5 group of people. For that, it's not going to happen by a joker safety car or this or that. It's going to happen because we are in that top 5 and we can race the people. Then we will start thinking, when we are at that level, we'll start thinking, what can we add? What can we do special? I love the B strategy or the C strategy when they are clever, when they make sense. And sometimes it's really nice to do. This is not where we are at yet right now. We need to do more study, more work, be more precise, understand the car, drive a couple of more races in that performance level of top 5. And then all of a sudden we'll start to have confidence on what we are doing, and we can execute strategy which are a bit more left or right than just in the center.
Thanks, Ludo. Donato from Facebook has asked, did tyre degradation match our forecast, and how well did we adapt to the evolving grip levels across the stints?
I've said it a little earlier, the tyre degradation actually was lower. So we went back to the 24 tyre, if you remember, the Super Soft 24. And usually it's a good tyre, but it does deg, it does lose rubber. Even in Tasmania, where we used it last year. The day was actually lower. Is the temperature of the track, the fact that it was not super sunny? I don't know. I think the people have learned how to use the tire better, and we are starting to see people which can drive hard, but still not drop too much time on that particular track. So I was a little surprised of the deg. Now, we didn't have a lot of deg either, so we were in the same boat with the others. The track didn't change too much. If you look at the qualifying session, it went up and down. It's more about the temperature probably on the air, which gives a little bit more power on a track with long straight line and important straight line. I think the grip level didn't seem to be very different across the weekend for us. So we didn't have really to adapt to it. The biggest element probably for you guys to understand is these cars, which have got no differential on the rear, use some setup which are, we call them droop, which mean during the braking or at the end of the braking, often we are nearly freewheeling. And you can see sometimes the car bouncing a little bit on that inside the rear wheel. And that's to allow the car to turn better. And that element, which is consistent in quali, become inconsistent during the race. Reason being, we are running full fuel, which means, and we are not adjusting the suspension for that, which means we are adjusting before the race, but during the race, the fuel load comes off. And we're speaking about 60, 80, 100 kilo of fuel, big bag in your... And that has an influence on the setup of the car. So often you'd see that the cars are a bit more oversteered towards the end of the race because they've used their tires and because they are running less fuel, which means they've got little droop. They are more pointy. And that's an element we've got to try to understand better. And we are working a lot on it in order to see. We are often better mid to end of the race. So there's a couple of elements we are looking at, which I hope will help us in the future.
Thanks, Ludo. The last final two questions come from our LinkedIn account. The first one is from Don, and he's asked, how well did the team execute in key race moments like the race starts, safety car restarts, and overtaking opportunities?
So on the start, I think we can say that Jimmy was a star of the Sunday. Overall, our starts are solid. We don't want to overdo it. The clutch is on the limit of the temperature. Sometimes we have had the clutch go down a little bit after a start. So we are a bit careful. If you overdo it, you can actually slip the rear wheels and lose traction and not go so fast. Jimmy obviously nailed the start in that last race 3, and used it to pull away basically, which was great to see. I think our pit stop were solid, not exceptional. But they are solid. We are slowly getting a tiny bit better. There is still a lot of work to do. Some of it is positioning the car in the box right. Some of it is, having the people more used. We've got some new people in the team. That happened. And they've got to get trained and work together, etc. So I think at one stage where the light didn't come on, so the fuel man stayed a little longer, which means the jack stay up, because until the fuel is disconnected, you cannot drop the car on the ground. It's forbidden by the rules, and you would be having a PLP, a pit lane infringement for that. So we are getting better in this element. Restart of safety car, I think nowadays they are quite okay. I haven't seen any big drama across the field. We were well prepared. We're doing the right thing. We can't wave anymore during the lights off on the safety car. Everything is a bit more polished on that area. So I think the key moments were well managed. There was no drama, no panic, and that's important to go into races thinking, everything is going to be calm and quiet. We just take what's happening and we change what's happening. We didn't have any drama, so that makes even easier. No big contact. I mean, we had one contact earlier on with Richie, which got bumped out on the first race, and obviously the tires and the toe keep changing through the race, because when you bend the steering, it unlocks the nut of the tow rod, and slowly by slowly the tow rod gets longer and the tow-in comes in. That has happened now twice this year. We are going to try to see. Loctiting them is not an easy one, because that means that when you service the car, you're going to have to hammer a lot. So we need to find a solution, maybe a double nut if we can, if we are allowed by a supercar, so that it doesn't come loose. There's a couple of little solutions I need to put in place for that. But in general, we had a trouble-free weekend. No car back in the pit lane with broken bits.
Thanks, Ludo. Our final question for this week is from Michael from LinkedIn. What learnings can be taken from Richie's and Jimmy's performance that can be applied across the team for future rounds?
So learning, we knew we had good straight line speed. We still have good straight line speed, so I'm happy with that. We do a lot of, we are clean on the way we put the car together. We had good braking. We did a lot of work with the drivers and on the setup to make sure that we were going to be there. It's an important track in braking. So I was happy with that. We were okay in the last sector. We had a good drive. I think we failed definitely on 62 to get the best turn we needed, or the turn we needed at turn 4. We were weak on that one. There is a bit of line and there is a bit of setup. We just need to sort of evolve again one more step. The funny thing is we calculate all these things, as you could imagine. So every setup has a coefficient of turn, and Richie used a lot of turn. I needs a lot of turn at this stage. I'm not too sure if it's an error of the calculation or just what it is at this stage. We'll work on that. So yes, turn was probably the thing we didn't get too much. Jimmy would have loved to have a bit more, but I think by Sunday he ran the second quickest car on track. So look, Finney was definitely one step up. I think we came closer to him, not to his level yet, but on the weekend he was exceptional. So I'm happy to be second to Finney if it's what we think we were. As I said, would we have had a little more turn and not lose too much on the drive? I think we could have done even better. Thank you very much. We'll see you after Perth. And again, thanks for coming with good questions, because that's what I like to answer. See you soon. Bye.